Hi everyone, I'm Ajadang, and today's video is a video absolutely no one has asked for, but we're here anyways. Today is my paycheck routine video. I've talked about how I was going to do this for a little while. I've been putting it off, but now we're here. This is everything I do once I get my money, honey. If you want to see more money, organization, adulting videos, please like, share, and comment on this video. So this video will obviously be very budget related based. So before I get into my specific routine, I kind of wanted to share a couple of budget theories with y'all, just so you can understand that this is just the way I do it. There are a lot of other ways you can budget your income, but this is just after years of practice, what I found works best for me. I'm gonna tell you why I choose to do my budget this way and why I feel like it works best for me. But I also wanna give you options because I know not everyone works the same. So hopefully one of these options, one of these budget theories will resonate with you. And if not, just know that honestly, the sky's the limit. I would say that these are the most 4 common types of like budgets, but you know, you can also make up your own if that works best for you. I kind of did a combination of 2 and we'll get into that a little later, but let's just talk about kind of the 4 main budgeting theories, all right? So on the Master Plan IG, we posted this graphic. This kind of gives you like a really quick overview about what I'm gonna talk about. So if you ever feel the need to be like, what did Asia say? Or what is a 50, 30, 20 base budget? Go ahead, bookmark this, save this graphic for your reference. I'll go ahead and link it in the description box as well. The 50, 30, 20 rule means you put 50% of your income towards your needs, 20% of your income towards savings, and then 30% on your wants. So then there's the zero-based budget. The zero-based budget basically means that every single dollar that you have is accounted for and has a job. So basically at the end of the month, you have no free money. Every money that you received has gone to, you know, a bill, a goal, an expense, a savings, yourself, everything. There's kind of like no leeway towards flexibility. The cash only budget means that you basically deposit your checks and you pull out the money that you need, and you only use cash. This is also called the envelope system, in which you put cash in different envelopes based on kind of like your expenses. So you have a grocery envelope where you put aside a certain amount of money in that envelope and you only spend that much money on groceries. I tried this one for a little bit as well. Personally, I just find it hard carrying cash, and I know a lot of places in LA don't even accept cash. So if you want to go this route, I would say maybe particularly if you're in LA, that it might just be easier to have kind of like a refillable debit card or something that you get and you just refill money into that opposed to just using cash. And then finally, we have the value-based budget, where you spend your money on things that you value versus worrying about kind of like specific categories. I think this is best for seasoned budgeters, because if you value, I don't know, like a major shopping spree at Nordstrom's versus paying off your debt, then you might not have that kind of self-control and self-awareness to say, no, Asia. So I would say value-based budgeting should probably only be used for those who have their finances under control and who have self-control on their spending. The cool thing about value-based budgeting is you really need to figure out what brings you joy, what you value spending your money on, and what doesn't. So for me, I value spending my money on food. I prefer to spend my money on really good, high quality, locally sourced food, and that tends to be more expensive. Things that don't bring me much joy is spending a lot of money on, you know, clothes or handbags or makeup. Those are things that I don't enjoy, so I don't spend my money on those. So now that we got all that out of the way, how are we all feeling? Is there one that we lean particularly towards? Again, you can combine theories as well. For me, I guess I kind of do a mixture of almost all of them, except for the zero-based budget. That I don't do. I normally live my life off of a 50, 30, 20. but basically I just say 50-50, and value-based, but I pull out cash and only use cash for my beauty expenses like facials and lashes. Okay, so now let's get into, now that we know kind of what budgeting options there are out there and we know what I like to use, the combination I like to use, let's get into my paycheck routine. If you want to see how I make my money, I did a video about it a long time ago. I think it's still it still resonates. It's a couple years old, but you can go ahead and link, I'll put the video above just so you can kind of get a sense of where my money comes from. So if you watch the video about how I make my money, you know that immediately I lose 50% of my check because I take 20% goes to my management, and then 30% goes to taxes. It hurts every single time to just see 50% of your income disappear, but 20% for management, and then I'd rather put aside 30% for taxes now than just be absolutely effed during tax season, okay? So when I take out 30% in taxes, I will immediately put that into a totally separate, I guess it's a savings account, a high yielding savings account. Mine is with Ally. And the reason why I want it not in my main account is because I don't want to see that money. I do not want to see that money until I have to pay my taxes. Because let me tell you, sometimes when I want to buy something I haven't saved up for, I'm very tempted to dip into that very large tax account. There's honestly a ton of money in that account. And in order to prevent myself from doing that, I just keep it in a totally separate account in a totally separate bank. And I pay my taxes quarterly. It's just really easy, again, because it is in its own separate account. It has its own debit card. So that's how I'm able to pay my taxes out of that account, is through the debit card. The moment I get paid, I will actually write it in the white open space in my monthly budget. Let's just say I will put kind of where my money comes from, so the brand name, and then I will say the total amount. Let's say $4,000 I got paid. Immediately, I'll put 20% aside for management, and then I'll put 30% aside for taxes. Half of my income gone within the first 5 seconds of living. So there you go. Ouch. Now this is where my budgeting technique comes in. Again, I like to use, even though it's technically called a 50-30-20 budget, I just say 50-50. So my take-home pay then is $2,000 after taxes and management fees. From that $2,000, I just split it in half. 50% will go into my checking account for spending purposes, and then at the end of the month, if I realize that I kind of don't need that much money in my checking account, then I'll then transfer it to my financial goals. But the other 50% of the $2,000 is going towards my financial goals. And this is kind of where my value-based spending, how I feel. How do I feel about where I want this money to go? This is where it goes. Because we all know that I have a lot of financial goals I need to save up for. I have a wedding. I want to still buy a house eventually one day, hopefully soon. I have sinking funds I want to save up for. This is kind of where I would say negotiate with myself. Where do I want to put this $1,000? And frankly, it kind of just all depends on timing. Earlier this year, I would have put a lot of that money towards my sinking funds for health insurance for next year, my car insurance for next year, and my HSA, all right? But I've already fully funded those, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. And those were kind of the immediate needs that I saw, and I catered to those first. So now what do I have left? I have my wedding, and I have my house down payment. And I would say they're kind of like equally as important, right? But today, how do I feel? I feel like I'm just gonna split it in half. 500 is gonna go to my house down payment. 500 is going to go towards my wedding. And that's that. It's not very easy. I mean, it's not very difficult. And because I've gotten into the routine, it takes me like maybe 5 minutes every time I get paid, but that is what I do. And then also my house down payment is in a brokerage account. Until we are ready. We currently have $100,000 saved for a down payment, but in the LA market, that's not going to get you anywhere. So we still have a long way to go, which is why I'm comfortable with my home down payment being in a brokerage account. It's invested very conservatively, so I don't have to worry about the craziness in the market, and I feel comfortable pulling out that money whenever I need. And my wedding fund is in a totally separate checking account as well. What I do, and I know I haven't really gotten into it too much, but I actually have a credit card that I use. I'll pay the wedding expenses with the credit card, and then I'll immediately transfer the money from the wedding fund to pay off the credit card quickly, okay? No interest rates for your girl, not again. Now, once I decide where I put my money, then I go back into my monthly budget graph. I have expense categories for down payment, wedding, brokerage, and crypto. I don't really want to I know I haven't really mentioned crypto ever, but when I have a little fun money, I'll throw it into my Coinbase account and buy some Ethereum. But that's that. So what I do in my monthly budget is I actually divide kind of the bigger box into 4 main boxes, and then that represents like every week. So I put aside almost $2,000 towards my down payment in the first week of November, and almost $1,000 in the first week of November towards my wedding. And that, it's not necessary, but it just helps me keep track of where I put my money or how much money I've put aside every week of the month. So because I've decided to put $500 towards a down payment and a wedding, I'm gonna put it in, this is the second week of November that I'm doing this video. I'm gonna put it in a separate box, the second box in my monthly budget. And that way it's just easier for me to track. I do this normally with all of my expenses. Clearly I haven't updated my budget for the last week, but honestly, I've been sick with the flu, so not too much spending has been going on. This just helps me kind of gauge how I did, not only as a month as a whole, but individually each week. So you can see just here, the first week I decided I wanted to put almost twice as much money towards my down payment than my wedding. But this week I decided, you know, we'll split it 50-50, no harm done. Next week it could be different. So again, that's where that kind of value-based spending comes in. So basically, to recap, I receive my check, I'll deposit it. 50% is gone. It's going 20% towards management, 30% towards taxes. After that, I take my, what I call like what I actually get, my take-home pay, into 50. All right, 50% goes into my checking account, the one that I use every day, and this is used for all types of expenses, rent, dogs, food, fun, yada yada. And if there's anything left over at the end of the month, if I feel like I could add a little bit more to my financial goals, then I will, but 50 split. All right, here expenses, and then this is my financial goals. With the financial goals, I kind of just see how I feel that day. Do I want to put money towards a sinking fund? Do I want to put money towards a down payment? Do I want to put money towards my wedding? That's where the value-based budgeting comes in. How do I feel about where I want my money to go? Normally earlier in the year, I like to put my money towards sinking funds because that's kind of just what's important to me. And because of that, I've been able to fully fund my HSA, my car insurance for next year, and my health insurance for the entire year. But now that those are all fully funded, I'm able to throw as much money as I can at my down payment fund and my wedding fund. And this can change paycheck to paycheck. Normally, hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, I get paid multiple times throughout the month. So every paycheck, where I put my saving money really just depends, again, how I feel. So even though I'm focused currently on saving up for a wedding or down payment, maybe the next paycheck I get, I'll look at my sinking funds and be like, wow, I haven't put any sinking fund money towards my friend Alan's wedding next year. I should probably do that. And then that means I put a little less money towards my other larger goals, but in my opinion, they all kind of accomplish the same, which is financial security, right? Anyways, that is it. I don't want you to watch this video and be like, well, Asia does it this way. That means I should do it this way. And that means it's going to work for me, because that's just not the case with money in general. We all process money differently, and we all value different things. So I would say just use this video as a guide. If you want to try my way for a little bit and it works, cool. But if it doesn't work, there's a ton of other budgeting theories that can help you build the paycheck routine that works for you. All right. I don't know if I fully explained things to the best of my ability. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments and I will try to get to them ASAP. The one thing I do want to mention, because I feel like it might be a question, is the 30% that I take out for taxes also includes my retirement SEP fund. Because with the SEP, which is a self-employed pension, it allows me to save up more for retirement than like a Roth. But I'm able to take out money from there because the SEP also gives me a tax break. So that's why at the end of the month, my accountant and I will kind of go through how I did this year, and then we'll take money from my tax fund and put it into my SEP. And again, because I get a tax break, it all kind of just works out. I pay more in my SEP, I pay less in taxes, okay? Again, let me know if you have any questions, and if there is a particular way you do your paycheck routine, please let us know in the comments, okay? I'm ajadang. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. And yeah, let me know what you're thinking, feeling, hoping, dreaming in the comments. Bye.